Well, good evening, good evening, and want to thank you so much for joining this evening. This evening on In Review, where we look at some of the top news. My name is Sylbourne Sydial, and it's a Thursday night in the UK, 22nd of the uh, August 2024. As we're moving very swiftly on down to the end of the year, the end of the year. One of the topic that I put tonight is America overshadowing the UK. Is what is happening in America now overshadowing the UK? There's so many things which are happening at the same time, but right now, all your eyes on me, all eyes on us in the United States of America, where the pending elections going to be between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. I'm hoping, and I don't know if it's going to be possible, that I have one of her cousins here from Jamaica, hopefully on the show tonight to a quick reflection. It may happen, it may not. If not, I'll have him on some other time there, because it's a big thing which is happening there in Jamaica with the possibility of Jamaica, the Kamala Harris being the president of the United States of America. Everybody's wanting that to break through. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before I go any further, let's start the show and let's get going. Well, good evening. Caught you there. Gary, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm all right.
You're putting a tape on your mouth, so you don't want to
Gary,
say.
we're doing duct tape, Gary.
you, you have to you have to do better than that, Sylbourne, man. You have to do better than that, man.
Gary, what do you do? Gary, what are you doing with duct tape?
I'm holding somebody hostage.
Eh?
I'm holding somebody hostage, man.
You wouldn't duct tape us on. Reverend.
I'm holding somebody hostage. You don't worry. I mean, the person that I'm holding hostage, they won't know he's missing because the person is not that important.
Listen, nobody won't miss him.
Right?
Eh?
Right?
Nobody will miss him.
No.
Yes. Well, good evening, guy, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank those who are joining me on Instagram, those on Facebook, those on YouTube, and those on TikTok as well. Thank you so much for joining. Well, listen, it's another week in the UK. I must say, in light of what is happening in America, I was saying to myself that everything is being overshadowing what's happening in the UK. I mean, what's happening in the United States of America. Big things are going over there, with this convention. But I was saying, after the UK went through the recent riots and a few different upheaval and the new government, do you think that the present government is grateful for this level of distraction with what's happening in America? Do you think they are grateful for this moment while they can go through their honeymoon period?
Well, I think the honeymoon period for the Labour Party is over, mate.
Yeah.
I think it's over. I mean, look what they're having to tackle.
Yes.
Having to tackle again, in my estimation, the protests and everything that's happening, has it stopped? Just because we may not be hearing about it, if you notice, we're not hearing much about the protests. We're hearing more about who they're putting in prison more than what else is happening. And in my estimation, in my thoughts, I think they're doing that so as to show that anybody else who is caught will be sent to prison. So there may be more protests now that's happening, but they're not advertising that at all.
And sorry, Herbert, you're Herbert, for coming.
At some point, reality must set in.
Hmm.
It's not all party and celebration. They have to get on to do the government's and the people's work. But the people's work is not a single area. It is multifaceted. So while you're focusing on immigration and far right protests, they have other issues to deal with as well.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I must say though, one of the things which is coming through is that there seem to be uh, a fear in a way of persons speaking up or sharing their thoughts. I believe online. I believe online somehow has gotten a sort of uh, a level of fear of persons saying certain things in light of what really happened. But I was looking at some videos of some of the persons who got some really serious prison sentence, and there was this particular guy. I don't have the video. He was actually coming with a big brick to hit the police van and hit the window. And when you look at that, you say, "Wow," wow. But what they're saying is that a lot of these persons who are being imprisoned, a lot of them didn't get, well, they all pleaded guilty, you know, um, and they believe that there could be some repercussion eventually. It's like they're building up for a level of momentum for further uprising. At the same time, because people have been quelled from wanting to speak up and having debates on certain things, which is maybe very fundamental to them.
What do you call speak up? Can you define it?
I believe speak up in a sense is persons want to articulate their views as to issues in society which is pertinent to them, which is
Okay.
pertinent to them.
So let me ask you now.
Mm,
Vandalizing a hotel,
yeah,
destroying police vehicles, destroying people's homes. How would you define that?
that is clear, right? That is clear. Thuggery.
So,
In
of all the people that have been sent to prison,
mm.
did they try to articulate themselves into what was happening, why it should be happening, or were they heavily involved in it?
I think the evidence speaks for itself that they were very involved
Good,
physically
good.
and went out of their way to create harm. But
Good.
what I'm talking about is the social media angle. So it is not more. It is not the persons who actually went out there, but actually persons who wrote things.
But it
Uh,
started from social media.
yeah,
Social media, internet keyboard badman and badwoman started to spread vile messages,
mm,
and one fool makes many,
yeah.
right? It got people out there all riled up to do all the damages that they've done. So speaking of using social media isn't a bad thing. It is a usage of social media.
I don't want to articulate himself.
Yeah. And nobody is saying that they shouldn't be speaking up.
Mm.
But what are the issues that you're speaking about? How are you articulating yourself about the issues that you want to speak about?
Mm.
Right? I'm certain if someone had gone on social media and said something in the sense of, we're not calling for riots, but we need answers from the government. Do you think the government would have been trying to shut them down?
You mean if they were speaking without
Yes.
exercising their physical casting of all
No,
respect.
no, without advocating for violence.
Yeah.
Do you think the government would have been seeking to hunt them down, shut them down? No.
Mm.
You cannot be wrong and strong.
Mm.
And in today's world where you can stay in America
Yeah.
and stoke violence in another country that has nothing to do with you.
Well, it goes even further. You can stay in the prison and create havoc as well,
There you go. There you go.
as we saw in Jamaica. Of
So we have to be mindful when we say people are not being allowed to speak up.
Mm.
You have your right, you can't give it away.
Yeah. Gary, do you believe that persons are extra cautious in how they articulate themselves legally on particular issues? You know, such touch words, areas which they fear to tread.
Well, yeah. I mean, people don't want to be. I don't think people are as clear or as truthful as how they feel they because of what may happen if they say how they truly feel.
Mm.
I think across the board, not on, in every area of society now, which seems to be so touchy
Yeah.
feeling, that the
Yeah.
moment somebody begins to express themselves, that they feel they may either be prosecuted, they feel they may be sent to Coventry. You understand by that term, ostracized. People don't want to talk to them, or they feel as if they cannot really, because of what society may do to them. So I think people are afraid. People are very touchy on what they say.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And you
You are very touchy of what you say.
well, I was just speaking to Herbert earlier, and we are talking about even the whole aspect of mpox, and I was wondering why is it called now mpox, and certain terminologies. I remember the time when you had COVID, and I remember when we are discussing COVID one night, and we saw the thing spin, and it just shut us down completely because of certain things at that time, you know. So I think words like immigration, multiculturalism, viruses, um, what should I say, um, antivirus, and all these other things will somewhat trigger the algorithms in a sense, and I believe that there's an element of extra caution when people are wanting to discuss and bring things to light, because it doesn't fit a particular narrative.
Yes, yes. I mean, I would strongly say that myself.
Hmm. And
I mean,
yeah,
sometimes people wanted to say what they wanted to say,
yeah,
right? And not what they need to hear. So you find yourself walking a thin line
yeah.
of being politically correct as opposed to being factual.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Well, it's interesting days. Well, we are seeing anyhow that the Labour Party is going full on in regards to sending the message and being very clear when it comes on to um, finding the persons, the perpetrators at that time, who were very violent, who were instigators, and who rioted and looted and everything. The big question
But
is,
correct
are
your
they?
statement, Sylbourne. It's not the Labour Party, it's the police forces.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Police forces.
yeah. The police force under the leadership of the government.
No.
No, you.
People no. People have for years used the police as a political football,
Yes.
right? Leave the police alone, let them do their jobs. Take politics out of it,
Yes.
and you'll come with you'll have a sense of understanding what the police is, what the police means and what they stand for,
Yeah.
right? The police have done their job in looking at the evidence, CCTV evidence, right? Video footages from the scenes, and have gone to arrest the people.
Yes.
Keir Starmer didn't go to arrest anybody. He
Mm.
told people at the scene that they will be dealt with in accordance with the law,
Yes.
right? He didn't go hold them and bring them before the court.
Mm.
The police did it.
There were demonstrations in the UK prior to what happened of recent days. The question is, did the law come down very hard on them as it is now?
But what were they doing?
There were riots in the UK.
Where?
Well, you had the BLM riots. You had the other one there with the Mark Duggan bits. You got all these different riots were going on.
Sylbourne, don't
Mm.
forget that in some cases, people were rioting, were defending criminals. Don't forget,
Yeah.
right? Not because someone has the support of the public doesn't mean that means that they're law-abiding citizens. No, they're not.
Sound like a movie.
So, and the police has to be cautious in how they react at a particular time, right?
Yeah.
So, like in 2011 with Mark Duggan, the police was not prepared.
Yeah.
The police forces were understaffed, undermanned. It was just after the force was cut by what 20,000. So the public saw it fit to act on the vulnerabilities of the police force then,
Mm.
and you saw you saw the end result of it.
Yes. And was there anyhow? I'll just drop this one there. Is there different types of they say this called sort of two-tier sort of policing at the same time, whereby some are being handled more when you got the same sort of issues.
It is clear to see,
Yes.
right? You can look at the stats when it comes to the use of taser and the police.
Mm.
It is it is a known fact that the black community are the preferred choice of target for police officers with tasers as opposed to the white community. Right? And you have what is called over policing, a
Yes.
predominantly black community being policed by a predominantly white police force.
Mm.
All those are factors when it comes to policing,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And the police does not do anything to help themselves either, because they will walk past you tomorrow morning, not saying good morning, hello, how you doing?
Mm.
But if a crime happens after that, you're the last person that they saw in that year, so they're coming to talk to you. So they're not doing themselves any favors by ostracizing themselves from the public, the us and them kind of mentality. All right.
Yeah.
So what do you expect?
Okay. Well, anyway, let's move on from that now. I think the next thing is about this monkeypox, mpox. I don't know if you guys are worried about this monkeypox thing. They say it's coming to the UK now.
Get visa?
I big up reason.
Yeah, you're right to ask that. You're right to ask that, my brother. It looks like they get the read a long time.
Yeah. How worried should we be about mpox? You know, how worried should we be about mpox? You know, the rapid spread of mpox. What they're saying. How worried are we? Should we be around mpox? Because it the it's not noisy. I mean to say the message coming through is not noisy, but it is subtly rising in the sense of this whole disease.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But
that's
if they keep dancing around it, we will
Mm.
never get the full understanding of what are the symptoms, what are the signs.
the rapid spread of mpox, what used to be called monkeypox in parts of Africa, has been declared a global emergency. Is it more contagious? We don't know. How deadly is it? We don't have the data. Is this going to be a pandemic? We have to avoid the trap of thinking that it's going to be a COVID all over and we are going to have lockdowns.
I
Or
don't
this,
think so.
or this will play out like mpox did in 2022, says a Dr. Jake Dunning, an mpox scientist and a doctor was treated mpox patient. You know, I think I should have gotten Dr. Burton on. They are labeled, you know.
I think again that's some knee-jerk reaction. I was following on from COVID. If the world hasn't learned from COVID, may as well we stop living.
when they say I haven't heard from COVID, I haven't learned from COVID.
Haven't learned because there are certain things that wasn't done during leading up to COVID or the massive outbreak.
You mean this is some best practices have been missed?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
following
yeah,
practices?
correct. And if the world hasn't learned from COVID, which was us last week, right?
I've been walking for 2 years, so don't say last week. I've been walking
Right?
for 2 years.
It doesn't make sense. You have politics and political leaders because they themselves will be walking blind, not knowing what to do if a pandemic comes. So I do not think this will be another COVID situation.
And you're speaking from what? From what perspective? A gumption or medical?
Pardon?
A gumption or medical?
I think medical.
Can't say medical, bro. You're a doctor.
No. everything that has happened in the world set a precedence.
Yes.
Right? And I'm certain that resulting from COVID, governments and health administrators around the world must have developed some framework, some strategy in how to deal with the next pandemic if one should ever happen. Right? So I do not think.
Go on, yeah.
I do not think we will never. I do not think we will ever live to see another COVID type situation. Not in our lifetime.
You gotta speak for yourself, you know, because we are talking about age, you know, at the same time. I'm youth. Gary, what do you say?
Yeah, same thing here. I don't know what Herbert is trying to insinuate here. If me so old, eh? Yeah. I'm 16, you know.
There are some people who are who can be classified as in the same category as Methuselah.
What are you insinuating there, Herbert?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Oh my God! I tell you.
Well, it's interesting. I think regarding monkeypox and for people, what people's thoughts are in regards to monkeypox. Sorry, mpox. That is the political correct term of calling it mpox. Sound a bit have this sort of funky tone to it, you know.
They might soon ask for G-pox and B-pox and E-pox.
Yeah, G-pox and B-pox. You know? I found this very sad case of this gentleman here who got drowned, you know, in his boat. Mr. Lynch.
It wasn't a boat, it was a yacht. A
It was a
boat is
yacht.
different from a yacht.
Yes.
A boat is what common people use. A yacht is what billionaires and their friends use.
But it is
Get
very
it right.
interesting that persons are saying that they should the yacht should have weathered that particular storm, you know what I mean?
No, not
Well,
really.
I mean, the thing about it, well, I don't know what I should say about that, you know, but there is something, I would kind of slightly agree with Herbert because from what I gather, I don't know whether this is true or not, but what I gather, wherever they were, they weren't expecting storm. And it would seem that in that particular location, there's nothing with whatever happened at that time. There hasn't really been any kind of storm of that magnitude there. So it caught them up by surprise. Yeah. So the boat may not have been really prepared or built for that storm. So I think there is something other than just that. But I think that it was a storm that has never really shown up in that particular part of the world, at least. Anyway, didn't they say it was something like a tornado?
Yeah, it was a tornado, and a tornado on the high seas, no matter what vessel you're in, it can have devastating impact.
Yeah, but a tornado there, that's what I'm doing. I mean, I know tornado can happen anywhere, but a tornado there, I can imagine. I can think of a storm, but not a tornado.
That's what I'm saying. A tornado on the high seas.
It's strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange because them things happen in places like America, but not there. Hurricanes don't happen there either, or anything like that. But yeah, it's a bit strange, really. Strange.
Yeah. But it's the focus is now on whether human error was to blame from the captain and the crew. Was the captain alive? Did he get out? From the captain?
I haven't read it in depth, but there are survivors.
Yeah.
And depending on where on the yacht you were, or there were, because some yachts have multi floors, different decks. So depending on where they were, will determine life or death.
Yeah. They said in tribute, they said Lynch has been a significant figure in the UK tech industry since helping to establish Cambridge Neurodynamics, a firm that specializes in using computer-based detection and recognition of fingerprints. 5 years later, he co-founded the British tech firm Autonomy in 2011. Lynch made his riches by selling his company to U.S. computing giant Hewlett-Packard for $11 billion. But in an intense legal battle following the high-profile acquisition loomed over Lynch for over a decade, he was acquitted of multiple fraud charges in the U.S. in June, for which he had been facing 2 decades in jail. Lynch had reportedly invited guests to his yacht to celebrate the conclusion of that case. And there's also another thing whereby one of his business partner, who was also on the trial in the States, if I'm not mistaken, was also killed in a car crash of recent days as well, So I guess they'll open this and look for more if there's anything suspicious or whatever like that. But it could have just been an unfortunate
It
incident.
was, yeah, sound like an unfortunate situation to me.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, the big thing which is happening now is yes, Kamala Harris, um, Jamaican Queen. Tonight is the night. I was hoping to have gotten, and I'm still looking out if I can get one of her cousins to come on in reflection. I don't know if you have been watching Gary. Have you been watching the DNC convention? You been following it?
Not really. Not really.
You have
Not
to
really.
watch the clips on YouTube.
What's that?
Eh?
You have to be watching clips on YouTube.
Oh, you can't stay up late.
No,
Gary, this guy's speaking for you, and I don't know how he
It,
must speak.
it looks like he knows more than me.
numbers are not on his side.
Well, you're not 16. You have to go to your bed early anyhow. Silly.
And you see, that's why the answer that he gave, you got to add up the dots with Herbert. The answer that he gave not too long ago, right?
What's your review of the DNC convention so far? I think tonight is the only time I'm going to really take it in.
I've been watching it. It's a lively affair.
I think it's a big party session, though. It's a big party.
Yeah, I mean that's what bringing people together in harmony does. When you have people supporting you, when you have black people involved in it, and wherever black people are gathered, music is going to be there.
Yes. Bashment.
Right? Yeah, bashment.
To
Right? And it goes to show.
DJ Cassidy, pass it on.
Yeah, it goes to show the level of enthusiasm that is riding on the back of this election. It's the most in my lifetime is the most consequential US election.
But do you know that every election in the US is
Mm.
always the mother of all elections. Every election in the US, they always say it's the mother of all elections.
Yeah,
Because-
well,
and even let's put it away, even in the UK, they say the mother of this election was the mother of elections recently. But in Jamaica, they say the mother of all elections. But what about policies? What are the policies which are coming through, or we got to wait until after the party session?
the DNC. I think after the DNC, she will come up with her policies. And I think her policies will determine where America goes. Trump's policies is going back to 2020 and backwards. Taking away from women's the right to choose.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself is a recipe for disaster when you're telling women that even if they're dying, they have to die, but there's no abortion.
But as someone said to me the other day, in politics there is mix and match. Some each sides of the coin of the political sphere, or the left or the right, they have good policies and they have bad policies. So there are some good policies from Trump. There are some good policies from Democrat. There's bad policies from each side. Wouldn't one say that, or is it one?
I haven't heard Trump with a policy since he started campaigning in 2022.
There are policies by the Republican.
Where? I haven't seen it. I haven't heard it. I haven't read it.
There are policies with immigration. There are policies on the economy. There are policies about, just like when they were talking about dealing with China and all those sort of things, and dealing with NATO and paying up all those sort of things, creating new ways. It-
That was back in the last administration.
yeah, but what I'm trying to say, that's what I'm trying to say. So some of those policies have been rolled back in a way, and then even with Kamala Harris, she's in a way, I believe deep down that somewhat she has some experience as being the indirect de facto president there, because Biden, in a way, is just there somewhat as a ceremonial figurehead, but she's behind the scene actually doing a lot. So therefore, a lot of the things that she says or the Democrats say they want to do, I believe they could have done those things even now.
No, they couldn't.
Why
Remember,
why she can't give groceries? Why she can't make groceries much better for
no.
people
All right.
now?
I was looking at it even today. I think there are companies in America who are pro Trump, who are Republican owned, is doing their very best to keep prices high,
Have you
right?
got evidence on that?
No, no. I'm saying to
Okay.
myself, right? This is what I'm thinking, right? That they're doing their very best to keep prices high, so Trump can come back. As people are saying that when Trump was in what was in office, food
Yeah.
prices food prices were low. I don't know because I don't live in America to say,
Yeah.
right? However, since this administration is has come into office, the job reports are like um, there's a 15 or 51 million jobs created.
Mm.
America's unemployment rate is at its lowest at 3.4 in decades. So
Mm.
that would have been a, a recipe for prices to go down. But people keep seeing higher price increases,
Mm.
right? Now you 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 would want to ask a question: what is happening behind the scenes? Why unemployment is going down, but food prices are going up? Is there a relation between the two, or is it a deliberate act by merchants?
What I'm picking up, and I'm speaking to some Americans as well, because O'Neill comes on the show and we speak about it a lot. Um, there's sorry, Gary. What you got to say, Gary? What you got to say?
No, you go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
listening to I'm
yeah,
listening to
yeah.
Matthews.
Yeah, what I believe is so crucial, and that is even what I'm saying, even so regarding even the leadership of the Conservative Party here in the UK. You got six contenders. Policies, I believe, are so very crucial. After the party, after the pork barrel, and after all these get down and everything like that, policies are so crucial because lots of people are actually saying that previously with Trump time, prices were down. But then at the same time, what you have that came in and kicked in was the aftermath of COVID. What you had and also kicked in was Ukraine. So those things had, I believe, an impact. Just like in the UK, the impact of COVID, the impact of Ukraine created prices to go up. At the end of the conservative reign, um, things started to settle into a bit because after the Brexit and after all those things, so many things were happening at the same time. And I believe that could be what is happening in America, in a sense, what led to the increase in groceries. But what needs to be ironed out away from all the um, what should I say, the TikTokers, the musicians, the parts apparently Beyonce might be there tonight because they said they're hearing some songs being practiced like Beyonce is going to be there tonight. After all of that, when it's all settled, the key thing I believe for America, and why I say America, and why I say America, which is very crucial, because we all know and we all say this all the while, that whenever America sneeze, we get a cold. Jamaica get a cold, we always say. The UK get a cold. So it's very important when all of this settled down, your policies, hardcore debate, take away all the fluff, take away all the excitement, and let's get down to work. That's what I believe. And to be honest with you, I think it's so close that we could be walking straight in with a Kamala president and or walk straight in with a Trump president.
I think Trump has come to the conclusion that he's lost. If he wins, he will tell you he was surprised as in 2016. Right?
Mm.
People want to hear about the issues, how you gonna fix the issues. But this project 2025,
I think he has it. I think according to what I'm hearing, there's been a distancing from the project 2025 bit, but it is something. Well, yeah, well that is well. I can't say anything else except what is public because I'm not there on the.
No, he's distancing himself publicly. Trump never associated himself with anything bad. He knows nothing about it. He did not know Jeffrey Epstein. He did not know Steve Bannon. He did not know and any cabinet any member of his cabinet that he fired, they were worthless. They were washed up.
Yeah.
So he will never associate himself with anything negative.
Yeah.
Right? If Project 2025 was something that was accepted, it would have been all he's doing, such as the overturn of Roe v. Wade. He's very proud in saying that he caused it to happen because he hired the judges. Right?
So Roe is something which Trump is saying he supports, and he
did it, yeah.
But what you're saying at the same time is that if Project 2025 or 25 or whatever it is something which is embraced,
yes,
Trump would embrace it.
Yes.
So what
he would have been taking the praise for it. Nobody else but Trump.
Saying Roe then is something which is I don't know. We're getting a feedback. Are we saying that Roe then is something which is embraced?
No. Among the conservatives.
Yeah,
right?
But why is Trump embracing Roe and you say it's a negative thing then?
Because the three justices that remember the Supreme Court is a 6-3. 3 Democrats, 6 Republicans. So the 3 judges that he nominated to be on the Supreme Court came in and tipped the balance so they could overturn Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Right? If it wasn't done, if Roe v. Wade wasn't overturned, Trump would have been blasting the judges, saying that they're useless.
So has he blasted judges them in any way on other cases whereby they are
yes.
When has he blasted the Supreme judges?
He's blasted the judge in DC.
The Supreme Court the Supreme judges. The Supreme Court.
No, he hasn't blasted the Supreme Court judges because they've all ruled for him.
But you just alluded a while ago.
No, I misspoke. Right? Okay. He hasn't blasted the Supreme Court judges yet, because most of the decisions that have been made has been made with the majority Republican MAGA judges.
We can say Biden blasted the Supreme Court judges in regards to when they said Donald Trump
is immune.
Is immune in a way. Biden
he called for reform.
So Biden blasted. So as Biden never blasted. So we are seeing Biden blasted judges them, and so therefore different person will blast judges.
For years, the Democrats have been calling for a reform in the Supreme Court judge in the Supreme Court,
and give them time limits as well.
Yeah. So one judge, I think Gorsuch, is it Gorsuch, said that he will retire only if Trump wins the election, so that he can be replaced by another Republican judge.
Can I just ask Gary? Gary, what's your take on the American thing at this present moment? I'm in the balance. I'm in the middle in the way. Was really focusing on pieces. That's what I really wanted to. I'm not into the personality thing between. I'll listen to the Obamas them and everybody just both sides. Blah 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 blah. Everybody's just attacking each other personality. You know what I mean?
But what else can we say? That's what it is all about. That's what it's coming down to. I'm sure. It's not really about policies anymore. You look at any country, not only the US. Look at any country at all. Even though we are, I am addressing the American question of what you're saying, but I just want to make a statement here that it's not about policies, and I think that's what Herbert was saying. It's not really about policies anymore. It's about personality. And that is because if it wasn't personality, they wouldn't be attacking each other because it's a personal attack now. Remember, from the very outset, Trump is not a career politician. He's never been in politics up until 4 years or 8 years back. So when Trump entered the political arena, he didn't enter it from the standpoint of a Joe Biden or a Barack Obama or a Bush or a Reagan. He came in from the standpoint of a businessman and more to the point of Trump. This is raw Trump. And Trump is coming in to state, to some extent, that what's her name?
Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Miss Harris, yeah.
Is no good. That's what he's saying. She doesn't know herself. She doesn't know where she's from. 1 minute she's Indian, and the next minute she says she's black or she's Jamaican. And then he will go to say, well, she knows nothing of business. Her record, he would then say her record in California has just damaged California or Los Angeles or wherever she was running. You see, so he is going in from the standpoint of the person. Back in the days, it was policies. Politicians addressed policy.
Like Reagan, like Kissinger, those guys.
Yes. All of them, all the way through to Obama.
They were statesmen, wasn't it?
Yes, all the way through to Obama, it was policy. From the time that Trump stepped in, it's personality, and that is where politics is not really the prominent factor in these elections as far as the American election is concerned. So I'm afraid that if Trump loses, I don't know what's going to happen.
He said it. There's going to be a bloodbath.
Okay. No, well, okay. He said it. So therefore it's policy. No, sorry. Therefore it's personality.
He does not think fighting for anything.
Did he say
legally.
Did he say blood?
Yeah, he said it.
No. How did he say? I'm very sorry, sir. I'm very cautious about the context because when I hear the word bloodbath, when you say bloodbath to me, right now, publicly online, I see bloodbath as turmoil, as war, as killing and everything like that.
Yeah, he said it.
Is that what Trump said?
Yes, he said it.
I would like you to show me that.
He said it. He said, if I lose this election, it will be a bloodbath. And then he tried to walk it back to say it will be a bloodbath on the motor industry. Right? He said it. It's right there on BBC, CNN, everywhere. He said it.
They're still using that word.
Huh? Second?
I think we got shut down for using that word, Gary.
No. I'm just trying to find it.
We just got frozen a while ago, believe it or not.
Is
You
it?
know? Yeah, we just got frozen. I just saw this spinning a while ago with certain
Yeah,
terminal.
it's on YouTube.
On the
I'll send it over to you.
on the NBC News, Trump says there will be a bloodbath if he loses the election.
Okay.
And he said that March, or that was said March or documented March 17th,
Okay.
2024.
There you go.
March 17, 2024.
There you go.
On the NBC News.
It's
The
on all the major news network.
The comments came at the hold on, let me read this. The comments came at a rally here as Trump discussed the possibility of an increasing trade war with China over auto manufacturing. The rally was intended to get out the vote for Republican Senate candidate Bernie Moreno, whom Trump endorsed in December ahead of Ohio's primary.
So on that basis, then he's not qualified to run. He's not qualified to be the president.
He's never been qualified. I mean, all right. Look at the two gentlemen, right? Or should I say the two presidents? Zelensky, Trump, right?
Zelensky.
They both came from different walks. None of them were involved in politics in their formative years. But they ended up in politics, right?
Yeah.
Zelensky has grown into the leader he is today. No. Right? Trump wanted the presidency to grow into him, Trump. He did not feel like he should conform to the rules and regulations that governs a leader. You should be you should be loyal to him, Donald Trump. Hence, Comey was fired because he was not loyal to Trump.
Cuomo.
Pardon?
Is it Cuomo?
No, the Comey. Right? The FBI director.
Yeah.
Okay? So what we're seeing is the creation or the culmination of a cult movement where you have to be saying what he wants you to say, what he likes. Because all these speeches at the DNC, he called them violent and racist attack.
Yeah. Well, you know, it takes two to tango, but
the Democrats are taking the higher ground.
Hold on. I'm looking at the words which are being and if the words which are being said and being uttered by Trump, then it's obvious that it would be very strange if America goes that way, Trump way, if anything. And that is why I'm looking forward to see the aftermath of all of this with the debates, to see how things unpick. Because words like BB, I'm not going to say it because when I said it earlier, the thing almost shut down on us. And what is confirmed, I think it is not good. But I do like the lovely, hopeful, and bubbly atmosphere of the DNC. I must say I like that. But sometimes that can be a camouflage of hiding away from real fundamental issues, because there are some areas in the DNC which I'm against in a way, in certain policies, certain things that they stand for, you know, which I won't go into because, of course, it's one of those very touchy areas, you know, and there are certain areas of the Trump factor, which are the policy, not the personality, that I stand for, if anything. But regarding the personality thing, I just don't like. I don't like what they say, blue and blue and red and red and blue and red. You know,
I mean,
I like
if
those
if
things.
if if you're going to throw shades at people, expect it to come back at you in some way, shape, or form, right?
Mm,
It's okay for him to call people all different types of names. It's okay for him to do it.
yeah,
But when it comes back at him, people have issues with it. The name calling. No,
yeah.
if you, if you live in a glass house, don't.
Those stone, yeah, yeah. Well, tonight at I think they said it's gonna be about 4 a.m. UK time. Well,
I'll
we
be
here,
up. I'll be up watching it live because I'll be going to work.
yeah, we'll be
Unlike
here.
some people who can't wake up until about after 10 o'clock.
I have no comments on that.
Me neither.
I won't comment either. I don't know who he's talking to. You know. He probably talked to somebody that is beside him on the couch there.
I'm just hanging on at the bit just in case one of Kamala Harris' cousin come on the show. But listen, there's a very interesting thing which I see which is happening in Jamaica, and it is very interesting. After this, Herbert, I'm hearing some she sound from your side.
I'm not
Some
sure.
muted from you can maybe recheck your things or something like that. I'm hearing some she sound there, but I'll just mute you in a bit. There's some very interesting thing which is happening in Jamaica. After Hurricane Beryl, lots of people were without electricity, Gary and Herbert and people. A lot of people were without electricity. And then I'm hearing that electricity has gone big time. People getting some big bills, Gary, who has never even have light for a long time. That even the minister, which is responsible, is calling out the regulators to come on because them are thief the people. And but what I find very concerning again as well, and this is for people, well, maybe France is only the leader in these areas. People are just sitting back and accepting these things. It's like highway thief, man. Highway, you know. Herbert,
Yeah.
Well,
what you heard about it? Gary,
JPS has always been that public service, that utility company that will seek to benefit from any kind of uneventful events, hurricanes or anything like that. So
yes.
this is not new, right?
Mm,
What is also concerning is that JPS is the only remaining monopoly in Jamaica, where only they can provide service. Not even if you want to go solar, you will not
mm.
be able to have solar batteries because they've taken it to court and got a high court injunction barring citizens from going from coming off their grid.
Imagine that, Gary.
Right?
Okay.
So at some point you still owe JPS. All right. JPS is doing to the Jamaican public what France did to Haiti.
Wow.
Right?
But that's a heavy statement to make, boss.
Yes, yeah.
Let me see
When Haiti went independent,
if they try to shut down the show with that statement.
when Haiti went independent, Haiti had to pay back France for all the slaves that they got.
Mm,
So they were always playing catch up financially.
yes.
Now JPS, when a hurricane hit, their prices go up because the Jamaican public have to pay for the hurricane because they caused the hurricane.
I was listening to this. I was listening to this guy named Tracy, the
Oh
Mafia
yeah, Tracy.
Tracy, And he said the day when he stopped, believing in JPS or against JPS is when they said that they were having people thieving electricity. Let me call it. I'm a thief electricity by throwing up wire and thief electricity. But he said there are things in the bill that covers it from the law-abiding people. So law-abiding people actually pay for the thief.
Yes. I've been on several JPS police operations when it comes to abstracting electricity. Right? And people live in some remote areas. They have no hope of seeing a JPS technician in those corners of the world.
Yes.
And the only way they can get electricity is doing what they do. JPS does not care about the people who lives outside of Ocho.
Who live outside of Ocho?
Yeah. They don't care about people who live in the deep rural districts.
And therefore, what you're saying is that the people who live in the deep rural district who acquire electricity by different means, the persons in the Otrius area, if anything, will be the one paying for it.
Yeah.
Or in the corporate area will be paying for the illegal tapping or so.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that also people are now having smart meters. So what's the purpose of smart meters then?
Yeah, JPS a couple years ago came up with prepaid meters, just like what we have in England here.
Yes.
Right? They came up with prepaid meters, hoping to have a reduction in the amount of money that they were losing from. It's called abstracting electricity.
Yes.
Right? They were hoping to say to people, know that you can have your own meter.
Yes.
You don't need to be throwing up wires on our service lines anymore.
Yes.
But there's also another side to it where if the power line does not run in your district,
yes,
no matter how many meters you have, you still won't have electricity.
Yes.
Right? So the JPS is telling poor people in Jamaica, we control you, and you can only live when we tell you you can live. I.e., when we decide that we're coming to put up a light pole in your district and run power supply so you can have electricity. In 2024, you don't need to be stealing current. You don't need to be going to your bed hoping that a bottle of milk can last you until tomorrow because you do not have any fridge to put it in.
Yes. And I think that is one of the things that affected a lot of people, I believe, in Jamaica after the hurricane, whereby a lot of things that they had in their fridge were spoiled as well, and waiting for JPS to come. And also some of them claimed that they also had to pay for them to come on and deal with that. But anyway, it's a high level of corruption.
I give you a personal story. I was living in Portmore. Just moving to my place in Portmore.
Yes.
Didn't have a fridge. And I went to work one day. I left a can of condensed milk in a bowl with water.
Yes.
When I came home, ants was in the milk. I didn't know ants could swim.
Sorry?
I didn't know ants could swim.
It was the right spring on.
So it goes to show how people in Jamaica are being impacted by the lack of um, the basic needs, the light.
Mm.
You, you're going to work, you cannot iron a shirt.
Yes.
And you cannot get an interview if your shirt is not properly ironed,
Yes.
right? Those are the things that affect low Jamaicans in the lower sector of the financial scale.
Guy, what's your take? What's your take on the sort of things that we're just talking about in regards to
No, well,
this
I mean,
shocking?
yeah, I think Herbert has said it all. JPS has been the thief, has been thieving the people from the very inception of when them start.
Let's call it Jamaica Public Service. Jamaica Public Service. Jamaica
And
Public
and
Service.
I think that how can you? I was sitting down here and listening to what Herbert is saying. Right
Yeah.
now, listen to this. You got people in the country in tenement yard and them places there, yeah, who in the first place probably they're not working or probably they're earning very little by what they do. They
Yes.
need electricity. So what do? I'm not condoning it, but listen to this. They then string up wire or they get electricity, right?
Mm.
Okay.
AD.
JPS then comes out with a prepaid meter thing.
Yes.
Now, what do you think the thief them going to do? Are they going to are they going to get a prepaid are they going to get a prepaid meter to put in the yard and stop thief? Or are they going to continue stealing the juice, whether the prepaid meter is in the yard or not?
Yeah.
But
You see, JPS needs to look at the real cause of why people find it difficult at times to pay their bills or even to get anything properly. It's because, and I'm not condoning it, but there's always a cause to these things.
listen,
Or
listen
the
to this.
Mm.
If we are neighbors and you, Sylbourne, share your electricity with me,
Mm.
they're coming to lock us up.
Really, both of us,
Yes.
even though we're paying it.
You're paying your bill,
Yeah, but and then
but you're sharing your electricity with me because I can't afford it.
but it's still being paid, isn't it?
Yes, you're
Yeah.
paying it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm giving you a portion to your
Yeah.
to your bill because you're sharing it with me.
Yes. Yes.
We're going we're being taken down to the police station because
Uh-huh.
abstracting electricity.
So okay, so that is like the due process of how things should be done. So one is actually breaching the regulations of how they
Right?
do electricity,
But
but they're still being paid.
but they're not saying to themselves or sitting down in the boardroom and say, you know what, we've seen an increase in this electricity sharing thing. How can we prevent it from happening? Because for one, it is not safe,
Yes.
right? Because sometimes electrical fire starts.
Yes.
People have um, excessive equipment in their houses. The houses are built for 110. They have a 220 piece of equipment. Put a
Yeah.
strain on the power, on the system. Fire start, right? The GPS does not believe in public education. Okay,
So they're like a
and
law themselves, if anything.
of course, of course they are lying to themselves. Remember, it was in the 90s that Jamaica Telephone Company went out of existence because they lost their monopoly, right?
Mm.
Many years on, JPS has still maintained their hold on the Jamaican society.
So you need to be deregulated then.
Yeah, the JPS to me they're parasites.
So
They
the
take
JPS, then you're saying is the person in the wrong, and not so
yes,
much people.
yeah, because the GPS the GPS does not make it easy for you and I to live.
To live.
So right, you cannot live in
Mm.
2024 without having the basic needs
Yes, and
that
light
you
is a
need to survive.
light and fridge and all those sort of
Right?
things.
There are communities in Jamaica right now, before burial, had no electricity.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
And JPS does not care about that because they're saying that enough people are not living in those communities for them to provide service up there.
Yeah. Well, I hope and I pray that my fellow Jamaicans that they rise to the challenge and they rise to the call and they demonstrate, they placard JPS and to bring the bill down, and to really cut out this whole practice of if it is true that if people thief right, other people pay for it. People should only be paying for what they use. I hear some people having some serious thing whereby they have left their property, they're not there, and they get some big whopping
Yeah,
bill.
yeah. Because JPS has this practice of estimated bill.
Wow.
So if they think that you live in a 4-bedroom house, even though you have your meter, you're legally metered,
Yes.
they're still sending an estimated bill that you're not using enough electricity.
Wow.
So they're charging you what they think a 4-bedroom house should be using.
That's highway robbery, man. Straight in your face.
Yeah.
Is Herbert? Let me ask you: is that the what you're saying? I mean, it is something that you have looked into, something that you know directly.
Gary, I just left Jamaica only about 20 years ago. Right? And JPS practices has not improved, it has gotten worse.
Hold on, listen to this. Somebody just wrote in, "Good night, Mr. Sylbourne and crew. I had no light for 9 days.
There you go.
And I was billed this week for an estimated bill of twice as much as I normally pay,
There you go.
considering I was in the UK for the whole of June." And hold on, to go further, my bill was overrated. I'm waiting on my next bill to see how that pans out. But I paid the estimated bill as I would not want them to cut me off. So, you see, this, people wouldn't be lying about these things or trying to pull JPS down. Highway robbery, man.
So the regulators, the OUR, the Office of Utilities Regulations, they need to do more in preventing JPS from taking from poor people what poor people don't have.
Well, I saw that. I saw something whereby the minister, they're asking for someone to resign or to step down. That is the JPS chief accountant or chief person or something like that.
How is the electricity in Jamaica generated? Is it generated by oil, or is there?
Back in the day, there were several factors, several methods used. One was hydroelectric, but
Here,
with go ahead,
no, I just say JPS apologize for not advising customers of light bill increase. So it was an increase. It's an increase. I said, Vernon Douglas has apologized to customers angry at the huge spike in the electricity bills for July to August billing cycle. The latest JPS billing cycle saw many customers getting billed for between 30 and 100%, Gary, more than usual, primarily due to an increase in the fuel charge applied by the Light and Power Company. Mr. Douglas said there were no errors. There were no errors of the bills sent to customers.
So it was deliberate.
That was wicked, Gary. This is to write in the wall. So, okay, so what they're trying to say then, Beryl has do some things to increase the fuel. Anyway, this is wickedness.
I'm waiting to see what the OUR is going to do about it. I think it's time that the monopoly of the JPS being torn up. That agreement must be torn up and thrown in the Kingston Harbour. Because people must be allowed to get different sources of energy, whether it be solar. You can have solar panels, Gary, but you're not allowed to have batteries.
Yes.
So you're always indebted to JPS.
So after a while, I'm going to take your house. When they can't.
No, well, they can remove the meter from your house, but they can't take your house.
State representative on JPS board, listen to this, state representative on JPS board weren't told of plans increase in electricity bill charges, says Vaz. So Energy Minister Daryl Vaz says the 3 government representatives on the JPS board were unaware of the planned increase in customers' bill, which the power company attributed to an increase in fuel charge and exchange rate. Backside, so fuel charge gone up, and exchange rate, because exchange rate don't stay. The government maintained a 19.9% stake in the JPS, which allows it to appoint 3 board members: Danville Walker, Dennis Morgan, and Nadine Chung, to ascertain whether they were aware. This is you can't let the people of Jamaica suffer in light of this. The government has to take responsibility in some respect and somehow, even though
everybody plays football at some point, whether off the field or in the boardroom.
Yes.
And as far as the community is concerned, if they come out and say that they didn't know about it, they think the people are going to believe them. But if you want to believe them, you can, but I don't.
Yes. Anyway, we just hope that we just hope that the unfortunate thing, though, Gary, and everybody listening, is that, which is very unfortunate, that Jamaicans will just take this and cuss and go up on social media and cuss on social media and say them a lie, and I say me no want no apology, but they will not come out and demonstrate and put their foot down, which is so unfortunate. And it is happening in every different aspect. So right now, that is why they will do anything in a way and take advantage of Jamaicans. What is happening with the illicit 6 or the illicit 8? What is happening with the crime, whereby you do not have the government leadership and the opposition leadership coming together, sitting down and say, let's block the back of crime. But guess what? As someone said, if you dare say you're going to block the back of crime, you have broke your own back.
Yeah. I mean, there's a high level of corruption in Jamaica, coupled with a high level of extortion.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
But people in Jamaica, if they want to use the politics, the personalities of politics to defend public sector organization or utility companies, that's entirely up to them. But at some point, they will feel the effects of it.
Yes. Well, it's unfortunate. Well, Saturday night again. Sunday night, I'm going to have the Marcus Garvey guy going to come on, the President Antoine Campbell. I think either 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock Jamaica time. And I believe on his vice president, going to look at some crime thing. And I believe he's talking about they're getting some sort of approval from the ministry in responsibility for the prisons to go into the prisons and try to help sort out the prisons as well. I was listening to Vibes Cartel talking about the fact that, you know, prisons are nice. You know what I mean? What's your take on Vibes Cartel, Herbert and Gary? You listen?
He should have still been inside here.
Gary, you know his Vibes Cartel?
I know who Vibes Cartel is. Why them send him out? Why?
I mean,
when
Gary,
when is against him.
It's not the evidence, in my opinion, was strong, but it was the principles of the DPP that caused him to be released. Right, the DPP, when they found out that the jury was compromised, they shall stop the trial and impanel a new set of jurors. Right? A trial that lasted 3 years. Right? A trial that lasted 3 years.
Yeah.
They gave the jurors 3 hours to come up with a verdict. And that's why he is free today. He was not acquitted.
Free on
right?
technicalities.
He was freed on technicalities. So technically he's still a criminal.
But I gotta say a but right there. But I've got to put right there is that it is deemed that he was not guilty.
No. In the Jamaican space, right? Jamaicans say that he's not guilty. Now you have the court of law and the court of public opinion.
So what the court of law says?
The court of law, the initial trial, said he was guilty.
Yes.
Right?
And then appeal.
Yeah, the appeal said,
counsel,
based on the principles of the DPP, right? They should order a retrial, or he should be freed.
Okay, so what you're saying then is that the Privy Council put it back
yes
to the government of Jamaica, to the Court of Appeal,
yes,
because they did not see it fit to actually release them.
Yes.
There's some technicalities, so therefore
yes,
you go back, gather your evidence again.
Yes, and come back.
But what Jamaica has found out now, based on the court, is that they can't find some of these people in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, it will be outside the rules of natural justice for an individual to be incarcerated for 13 years, going back over a trial again.
Which lasted for what?
For 3 years.
The trial lasted for 3 years?
Yes.
Ease and peace.
Yeah?
Yes.
So based on that, he was released. He was not he was not acquitted.
Okay.
He was released on a technicality, on the indiscipline of the DPP, or by the DPP.
She's still not around, is she?
She's somewhere shopping, because when she came to London, she came on a shopping trip.
Okay.
She did not represent herself while she was in the Privy Council hearing.
It was Isaac Buchanan was doing it, and she was sitting behind the guy. Yeah.
Yes. So, in my opinion, he is still a criminal.
Okay. Well, I think he's signing up for some big concert. There's everybody a fly down Jamaica.
Well, I won't be there.
December. Yeah. Gary, you going? You're going to the concert in December?
Concert?
No.
Yeah, Vibes Cartel.
I'll go if you and Herbert going.
Well, I guess you're not going then.
No, Gary's waiting to go vote.
I know that Herbert is a big fan of Vibe, but I don't let anybody
No,
know.
no.
Yeah.
If I was the only person to support him,
No, they'd feel hungry.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, guys. Thanks. 1:30. My cousin of Kamala Harris didn't come on. A classmate, school days.
He's gone to the DNC. He's in Chicago. He's gone to the DNC.
Chicago tonight. Yes.
Yeah, he's traveling.
Maybe I'll see him at the top in the special box there at the top there, if anything.
Yeah, he's traveling. Yeah.
Yeah. Gary, have a good night. Yeah.
Is that supposed to be is this supposed to be the pinnacle of all the Democratic National Conventions?
Yeah, tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, because she's gonna be speaking.
Yeah, you can watch the highlights on YouTube tomorrow, Gary.
He's alluding to the fact that you won't be able to be up to take it in live.
Well, there's no reason for me to be up anyway. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I don't need to be up. I don't need to get up, you know. He needs to get up because he's saying he's going to work. What he's really doing is taking his medication. His medication is keeping him going.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. Joe's joining me on TikTok. Joe's joining on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And, Lorna, I hope your bill thing is sorted. And but according to what I read, they just didn't tell you that they're going to increase it, and they said, "I'm sorry." Sorry, sorry, don't buy solar. Sorry, can't buy solar.
People need to come together and take JPS to court.
Huh?
People need to come together and take JPS to court. The JPS issue, since the Jamaican government don't want to move away from the Privy Council, should have been in the Privy Council court here. But let us see.
I just got a message from O'Neill. I was trying to get O'Neill to come in, but he said just traveled a while ago to come in and give us his verdict tonight. Maybe O'Neill is just traveling over to Chicago as well.
No man, O'Neill is down on the southern border.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay.
O'Neill's on the southern border with the orange man.
Easy. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, I'm gonna try to not stay up, but get up back later for Beyonce. I think Beyonce is gonna be there. Take it from me, Beyonce is gonna be there tonight because she's telling Trump don't use her song.
Yeah.
She's wanting her to use her song. So
yeah, but Trump was also sued by is it Isaac Hayes' family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isaac Hayes for which song?
Yeah. A change will come.
Okay. What do you want? All right. Okay. But anyway, see you later, guys. Have a good night. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming on, and see you next week or Saturday night as well. All right. Peace out.
See you. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Peace.